Hey y'all, what's up? How you doing? This is another episode of Notable Prisons and the inmates that occupy them. I'm gonna need y'all to do something. Get your lighters ready, because we about to see who finna get cooked in this episode. Now this one is a cool one because I've known quite a few people who's been locked up at this prison, including my dad and a few other people. Anyways, let's get into it. Chino Men Prison, also known as CIM, is in San Bernardino County, and it's to the locals it's referred to as Chino. To everyone else, it's probably CIM. But yeah, Chino Prison. Chino is on a 250-acre plot of land. His facility is located east of Los Angeles, on an arid farmland, and the facilities include the largest level 1 inmate population within the California prison system. Remember, level 1 is referring to open dormitories with a secure perimeter. There's 3 reception centers, which provide short-term housing to process, classify, and evaluate incoming inmates. Reception Center, central for medium and maximum custody levels inmates, receives intake from several Southern California counties. Reception Center East houses medium maximum custody level reception center inmates with sensitive needs. You know, the S&Y cats, the people that be telling on people and, doing crimes and stuff that aren't cool. Crimes aren't cool in itself, but when you have some very questionable crimes, you go over there. Reception center inmates with the sensitive needs. Mental health inmate patients requiring an enhanced outpatient level of care, and it also has a 100-bed HIV CID unit. And Reception Center West is for medium-level custody inmates who are waiting, processing, transferring to programming institutions. The counties served by Reception Center Central include Orange County, Riverside County, Santa Clarita, San Diego, and San Bernardino County. It also serves prisoners transferred from the Pitches Detention Center in Castaic, Los Angeles County. So, the population, as of 2006-ish, Chino had 2,327 staff and an annual budget of around $230 million. As of February of 2012, it had a design capacity of 2,976, with a total institution population of 5,266 for an occupancy rate of 177%. As of April 30th, 2020, Chino was incarcerating people at 112.8% of its design capacity with 3,357 occupants. Chino opened up in 1941. It was the major minimum security institution built and operated in the United States. It was the 4th state prison built in California. San Quentin, Folsom State Prison, and the original California Institution for Women at Tehachapi. Since the California Correctional Institution replaced the original California Institution for Women at Tehachapi, Chino is now the third oldest California state prison. In 1970, a commercial driver training program at Chino's started. In the following years, the program's graduates had much success in finding jobs after release from prison and a recidivism rate of 12%. The program was closed in 2003 due to budget constraints. And one more brief history lesson for y'all. In 2005 and 2007, the state of California proposed building hundreds of new units for mentally ill inmates at Chino and at the nearby CIW. Local officials opposed the plans. A general acute care hospital at Chino had received a license to operate in 1984, but in March 2006, the hospital operating room was closed, and in July 2007, the plan to relinquish the license because the facility was not functioning as a hospital. Now, it's time, what everyone's been waiting for, it's time to get some of these notable inmates that are currently or were currently held at Chino. First, we have Robert Leroy Byler. He's a serial killer, and he was sentenced for several crimes before being released in 1966. He was a serial killer he killed 4 people in various neighborhoods of Los Angeles, California, from 1966 to 1973, either to cover up previous crimes or as a part of contract murders. Next, we have Seth Brooks Benzer, better known as Shifty Shellock, from the band Crazy Town with their hit song Butterfly. He was sentenced for 3 months for attempted robbery and for selling and using drugs. Next, we have Frank Bompin Serial. He was a mobster and a hitman, and he was sentenced for bribery and conspiracy. He was tied with the Sicilian American mob, who was a longtime capo regime in the Los Angeles crime family in 1956. With the death of his boss, Jack Dragna, Bonpensiero was demoted to the rank of a soldier by the new boss, Frank DeSimone. Next, we have Rodolfo Candina. He was a mobster, but he was murdered in Chino. He was a prominent figure in the Mexican mafia, also known as La M. He went by the name of Cheyenne. Rodolfo Alvarado Cheyenne Cadena. Next, we have Stephen David Catlin. He's a convicted American serial killer who murdered 2 wives and his adoptive mother in California and in Nevada from 1976 to 1984. He was sentenced to death in 1990. He also was sentenced to 3 years for credit card theft. He was a little bit all over the place, wasn't he, y'all? Next, we have Carol Chessman. He was a convicted robber, kidnapper, serial R-worder who was sentenced to death for a series of crimes committed in January 1948 in the Los Angeles area. Chessman was charged with 17 counts of and convicted under a loosely interpreted juror. But yeah, he was charged with robbery, kidnapping, the R word, and he was sentenced for a robbery, but he escaped in 1943. Kevin Cooper was a mass murderer who was sentenced for 2 burglaries under a false name, and he escaped in 1983. He is currently in prison at San Quentin State Prison on death row. Cooper was found guilty of 4 murders in Chino Hills area of California in 1983, and Cooper's conviction has garnered repeated attention from both Nicholas Kristof in the New York Times and Errol Morley of the Los Angeles Times. Giza Di Capiani is a Hungarian-born physician who immigrated to the United States in the late 1950s and 1963. He was convicted of first-degree murder in California after mutilating his wife with a scalpel and corrosive strong acids, thus causing her death. Get this. He was paroled in 1976. We have Robert Bobby Cletus Driscoll. He was an American actor who performed on the film and television from 1943 to 1960. He starred in some of the Walt Disney Studios' best-known live-action pictures of that period: Song of the South, So Dear to My Heart, and Treasure Island. He was held in Chino's Narcotic Rehabilitation Center after being arrested as a drug user. Maurice Williams Elias, known professionally as James Stacy, was an American film and television actor who starred in the late 1960s TV western Lancer. He was sentenced for child molestation and failing to appear in court. Next, we have Ray Furioto. He was a mobster sentenced for robbery with explosives. Next, we have Alex Peter Garcia, heavyweight boxer, sentenced to several prisons for manslaughter, including Chino. Next, we have Nathan Joaquin Garcia. He was a religious leader, but he was sentenced for being a sex offender. It's a scummy individual, everybody. Next, we have Timothy Joseph McGee. He is a convicted serial killer and Toonerville Refa 13 gang member from the Atwater Village neighborhood of Los Angeles, California. He is alleged to be responsible for at least 12 homicides between 1997 and 2001. He was a serial killer and a gang member sentenced for a parole violation. He is currently sentenced to death plus 75 years for murder, attempted murder, assault, conspiracy to commit assault, conspiracy to commit vandalism, resisting executive officers in the performance of their duties. probably won't be getting out no time soon. But I know he's a well-loved dude. I may do a special episode on just him. What you guys think? Next, we have Joseph Morgan, a.k.a. Joe Pegleg Morgan, who was an American gangster who became the first non-Hispanic member of the Mexican Mafia. He received the nickname Pegleg by authorities because of his prosthetic leg. He passed away. Next, we have Raymond Roman Thierry Polanski. He's a French and Polish film director. He was held for 90 days psychiatric evaluation after being arrested for rape and sexual assault of a minor. That's a scummy individual right there. Super scummy. He's 90 years old. And he is currently wow, he's out. That's crazy. This goes to show how the media, never mind, I ain't going to get in all that, but you guys know where I might be going with it. Next, we have Michael Rizzatello. He was a mobster, also known as Mike Rizzi, was a high-ranking Italian-American mobster in the Los Angeles crime family. His criminal record stretched back to 1947. He was also featured in several biographies, novels by mobsters turned informants Jimmy Fratiano. Next, we have Peter Robbins, actor sentenced for sending threatening letters. Next, we have Thomas D. Shepard, politician sentenced for bribery and conspiracy. He served 15 months. We have Glenn Milborn Shirley, imprisoned at several facilities for numerous crimes, including time at Chino. And last, we have Craig Vincent Smith. He was an American musician, songwriter, and actor. And he was sentenced for assaulting his mother and was sent to several different prisons, including Chino, before being released in 1976. And we have Charles Andrew Williams. He was the perpetrator of the 2001 Santana High School shooting, which occurred on March 5th in 2001. The gunman, 15-year-old Charles Andrew Williams, opened fire with an 8-shot 22 caliber revolver, killing 2 students and wounding 13 others. Williams was apprehended by a responding police officer. Convicted, he is currently serving 50 years to life. And also, being that Chino is a very popular prison, it was referenced in the movie Heat, in the novel Hard Rain Falling. It was seen in season 2 of The OC when Ryan's brother Trey is released from custody. The prison is a setting for season 4 of Veronica Mars. The prison is a major setting in American History X. It's also in the film The Big Lebowski. In the film Too Fast, Too Furious, Brian O'Connor's references taking his chances in Chino as opposed to going undercover with Agent Dunn. It was in the film Shot Caller, and also in the Sons of Anarchy. Many characters served time in Chino, including Opie, Marcus Alvarez, Ernest Darby, and Nero Padilla. This is another episode of Notable Prisons and Inmates. I thank you for watching. Let me know what you guys think.